It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Chima Travel Diaries, where I will be plugging you on most of my travel experiences, some good, some not. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about all things cruises. We've talked about flights, we've talked about local travel, we've talked about international travel. So now we are going to be talking about cruises, right? So I am going to be referring mostly to the MSC cruise, which is one that I have experience on, but I think the most cruise lines are pretty much the same, right? So the procedure is mostly the same. So if, let's say, you have always wanted to go on a cruise and you don't know how to go about it, right? So if you are like me and you are from South Africa, you might have heard of the MSC cruise line. It's like the most popular cruise line in South Africa. So they have different range of routes. So you can take a cruise from Durban to Mozambique, from Durban to Cape Town, from Cape Town to Mozambique, from PE to Mozambique. So it just depends on your preference and things like that, right? So what I can tell you about the procedure for booking and things like that, it's not so different from booking a flight. So for example, you know how when it comes to booking flights, I said that if you want to fly British Airways, you go to the British Airways website, right? So similarly with the cruise, for MSC cruise line, right? If maybe you're not sure of where you want to go and stuff like that, you should definitely check out their website. I will put the link down in the description box. So first thing first, before you decide where you want to go on the cruise, right? Just go to the website and you will find that they have different packages. So you'll find that they have local packages, they have international packages, and they also have like international packages. So when I say international packages, I'm referring to international outside your continent. You see how in South Africa, mostly the packages that are available, it's still international packages, but you'll find that it's like a cruise to Mozambique or maybe a cruise to Namibia or something like that, which in my case, I still kind of consider it local, but because it's still in Africa, but it still falls under international. But then there's also like bigger cruises where you have to fly to Dubai to take a Mediterranean cruise and things like that. So for those who don't know, like a Mediterranean cruise is the one that goes through the Mediterranean Ocean. So you can take it from Dubai and you might even end up all the way in Italy, in Spain and things like that. So those are like the last number of cruises. They are quite very expensive. And I still hope that one day, that's actually my dream cruise to go on, because it seems like it's quite an experience, because the packages range from 7 nights to 14 nights to 21 nights to 30 nights. So you can imagine living on a cruise for that long, for like 30 days, how the experience is like, right? So let's come back to the South African cruises. So with South African cruises, mostly, I think at most you can get a 5 nights, if I'm not mistaken, 5 to 7 nights at most. So they start at 3 nights, where not necessarily 3 nights, 2 nights, where you can hop on the cruise on a Friday and then you hop out on a Sunday, or you hop on a cruise on Monday and you hop out on a Friday, so which is like 4 nights. And then there's one where you can hop on Sunday to Sunday, something like that, right? So the ones that I'm familiar with, it's the one from Durban to Cape Town, the one from Durban to Mozambique. So Mozambique, there's a wide range and variety. So you will find that there's like 10 different types of routes that are going to Mozambique, and you will choose a package according to your preference. So you'll find that there's one that is going to Mozambique, but it's only going to the Portuguese island, right? And then mostly that one, it's like for 3 to 4 nights. And then there's one that is going to Mozambique, but then it's going to Portuguese island, and then it also going to, what is the name of that island? I think it's called Pemene, if I'm not mispronouncing it. So it means that what happens if it says Portuguese island and then it also says Pemene in one cruise, what it means is that you're gonna hop in Durban and then spend some nights on the cruise, and then you hop off on the Portuguese island to spend a full day at the Portuguese island, and then you hop back into the cruise, you travel again, you continue on your route to Pomene island, and then you hop off, you spend the day there, and then after Pomene, then you cruise back to South Africa. So that's how the packages normally work, right? So you will find that maybe the package that goes straight to Mozambique, the return trip to Mozambique, Portuguese island, the price will be different from the cruise that is going to Portuguese island and then continues to go to Pomene island. So that one might be a little bit more expensive because you'll find that the nights are more than the one that is going to Portuguese, because the one that is straight going to Portuguese island, you'll find that it's like 3 to 4 nights, and then the one that is going to Portuguese and then it's also going to Pomene island, it's gonna be like maybe 4 to 5 or to 6 nights, something like that, right? So let's talk about cost. So the price range for the cruise range between 3.5 to about 8,000 per person. The thing is, the price range, it depends on the season and also on the specials that are available. So the best advice that I can give you regarding the cruises is that go for the specials, because when you go for the specials, you find the packages at a very affordable prices. I've been on the cruise quite a number of times, I think 3 times if I'm not mistaken, and all those 3 times, I can promise you I did not pay anything more than 4,000 rand because I went for the specials. So throughout the year, the cruise line runs special every other month or something like that, where you go to the website and then they will tell you that there's like a 2-for-1 package or 4-for-2 packages. So you'll find that on a 4-for-2 packages, you'll find that then they say it's like 2 people pay and then the other 2 come for free. So in that package, you'll find that mostly the 4 of you will end up paying maybe roughly a minimum of like 14,000, because what happens is that they will say that you buy 1 cabin and then you get another cabin for free, right? So what is a cabin? A cabin is like a hotel room inside the cruise. That's how big the cruise is. So it is so big to a point where you will even forget that you are in a cruise. It's so big. It's like a hotel in the ocean, something like that. And there are so many activities to do there. So what happens is that, so when you buy those packages, so if it's 4-for-2, it means that 2 people pay. So maybe you'll find that they will say that the 4-for-2 one, the 2 people pay 4.5 each, which is 9,000, and then they will say that the 2 extra people that are coming for free, the only thing that they need to pay is travel insurance and some administration fee or something like that, which you'll find that maybe the other 2 people coming end up paying like 3,000 rand, and when you calculate the cost, it comes back to 15,000. So guys, yes, you can go on a cruise for at least rather for less than 4,000 rand each if you plan accordingly and you budget accordingly. And also one thing that I can advise you is that don't go through the travel agent unless you can afford it. It's fine, you can do that, but it's much cheaper if you plan it yourself, if you go to the website yourself. And another tip, right, once you go on a cruise once, you don't even have to go to the website to book anymore or to look for specials. So what MSC does is that once you book once, they keep your contact details permanently to a point where whenever there's a special, they will send you a link, an exclusive link for members only, where you get a chance to book before the public books, right? If there's a special or things like that, right? So yes, I hope I'm making sense in most of the things that I'm saying. There's just a lot of things to talk about when it's cruise related, and I don't want to make this video too long. So if there are any questions, please feel free to ask me on the description box. So I am going to move along and talk about how to prepare for your cruise, right? So especially an international cruise. So when I say international, I'm talking about neighboring. Yeah, it's still international. Like going to Mozambique and going to Namibia, it's still going. Not overseas, but it's still international waters, guys. So yes, so it's similar to how you pack for a flight. You see, when what I talked about with international flights, where I say that you're not supposed to bring anything that can be used as a weapon. You're not supposed to bring any liquids within your hand luggage and things like that. So things like heavy liquids and that are more than a certain milliliters and things like that, you can put it in your check-in bag. Yes, guys, there is a check-in bag. Like there is a check-in section on the cruise. So you are allowed to have your big bag and you're also allowed to have your small bag. So what happens is that, let's say you hopping on the Durban harbor, right? What do they call it? They call it terminal. I forgot, terminal something, right? What happens is that before you hop on a cruise, you go through the same process like you would at the airport if you are traveling internationally, or even if you're traveling locally. So you're gonna have to go through customs. So when you go through, before you go through customs, the big bags, they normally don't allow you to go through with the big bags. They will tell you, so you will have to leave your big bag somewhere where it's kind of like a check-in kind of thing, where you will actually get the big bag once you are in the cruise. So you can only go through with your hand luggage. So with your hand luggage, you are going to go through the same procedures like the airport, where you will be scanned, where your passport will be checked and things like that. And then they will check if you don't have any illegal stuff with you. They will check if you don't have anything that can be used as a weapon with you and things like that, right? One thing that I love the most about the cruise is that, you see, I told you that the minimum price that you can pay for a cruise, the most minimum is 3.5. So from that 3.5, I can promise you that you can literally enjoy your whole cruise with that 3.5 that you paid for, because when you get on the cruise, almost everything is free, and except for obviously beverage, for my beverage people, that you will have to pay for, and also some soft drinks then you will have to pay for, right? But there's like buffet 24/7 on the cruise. You have breakfast and it's all free. It's all included in the 3.5. So the 3.5 will include your food, your travel insurance, and your accommodation and things like that, right? So there's literally 24/7 buffet, so you will never run out of anything to eat, to a point where after the first 2 days you won't want to eat anything anymore, because there's like literally everything. You can eat as much as you want. And of course, obviously, when I say that the drinks, like your soft drinks, are available, it's only like, the juice, like the normal juice, and there is tea and coffee. But if you prefer to have your cold drink and things like that, then you can also buy for it on the ship, right, itself. And also another thing that I can advise you is that before you go on a cruise, if you know that you love your beverage and if you know that you love your first soft drinks, on the website itself, after you have booked for the trip, when you log in to manage your booking, it will give you an options for excursions. So excursions, it's inclusive of a wide range of things. So it also goes over and above. It includes over and above activities that you would wanna do on the island. So for example, when you get to the Portuguese island, where you're gonna spend the whole day on the island, let's say from 7 a.m. all the way to 6 p.m., there's a bunch of things to do, like snowboarding, boat riding, and whatnot, things like that, and also umbrellas, camp chairs, and things like that. So those things are called excursions, and you can actually book for them prior to going to the trip. It's actually cheaper for you to buy the excursions before you hop on the ship, because once you hop on the ship, you're gonna have to buy it in dollars, and it's quite very costly when you do that. So things like drink packages, they are also available as kind of like an excursion as well. So you can buy a drink package. Like I remember when I went on the cruise for the first time with my friends, I went with my high school friends, right? So it was kind of like a reunion where, like, you know, we have not hung out in a while, and we decided that, you know what, and we, at the time, we were all in different provinces, so like, no, let's just meet on the cruise. So we booked for the cruise and whatnot, and I remember we bought the drinks package before going there, and it was 4 of us, but we were also on a special where it was like 2 for 4, so 2 people pay and then the other 2 comes for free. And I think we, all things together, we paid about 15,000 rand or something like that. So on the drinks packages, the drink packages ranges from, you'll find that there's a 21 drinks package, and then there's more than that, maybe 21, 30 or whatever, depending on your preference. So when it says a drink package of 21, it means that you get up to 21 drinks, and those 21 drinks are not limited only to soft drinks. So when you get to your room, if let's say you bought an excursion for 21 drinks package, when you get to your room, you're gonna find like a small booklet with tickets, with like 21 tickets. So those tickets you can use whenever you go to the bar or to the restaurant or whatever. You just go there to order your drinks with that, regardless of what drink it is. You can, same ticket, let's say 1 ticket, it can either buy you 300 milliliter of Coke, or a glass of wine, or a glass of beer, or a beer or whatever, or a shot of martini, or a shot of brandy or whatever, from that 1 ticket. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's how nice it is about the cruise. So what I can advise you is that buy most of your things, whatever you think you might need on the cruise. I think it's actually much better to buy the packages before you hop on the cruise, because once you hop on the cruise, they're quite very expensive. And another thing that people always don't look out for is the photos. So what happens is that on the cruise, there are photographers, and they are very sneaky about it, because you will tell yourself that, no, I have my iPhone, I don't need any pictures on the cruise, I have my camera or whatever, I'm going to take my pictures with the camera or with my iPhone or whatever. But the way that they're so sneaky about it, when you're on the cruise, there's like, I don't want to say paparazzis, right? But there'll just be random photographers taking pictures of you. And sometimes the pictures that are taken of you, you won't even know that somebody's taking a picture of you until, I think it's the 2 days before you are supposed to go back to South Africa. They will announce that you can go to the gallery in floor number what to see pictures. You go to the gallery just to look at pictures, and then boom, you see pictures of yourself, and you're like, and nice, I'm talking about nice, beautiful pictures. And you're gonna ask yourself, at what time did they take these pictures? And the pictures are so nice to a point where you won't wanna leave that picture there. You wanna take it with, right? And only to find out that when you go to ask how much the picture is, they're gonna tell you like a lot of money. Because I remember when I went with my family, when I went with my sisters and mother, and the same thing happened. They took pictures of us and whatnot, and we had promised each other that no, we don't want this kind of packages, blah blah blah. We bought other excursions, but we never bought picture packages. Next thing, my sister is like, no, these pictures are so beautiful, I want them. And it was like 3 pictures, I think. And when she went there to ask the price, they tell her it's 500 and something. Imagine 500 and something just for 3 pictures. Whereas the same pictures that she bought the package before, you'll find that she would have paid something less than 200. So those are some of the things that you should be on the lookout for. And then here is the plug, guys. So I want to plug you on something. I hope the cruise owners are not listening or watching this video. So for my people who love their bev, not only the people who love the bev, but those who also love the cold drinks or the juice or whatever, and you don't want to buy the one that is on the cruise. Yes, on the cruise there is juice at the cafeteria that is available for everyone, but you know what kind of a juice it is. It's like special punch. You know special punch? It's a punch, like it's not like juice, that it's not like liquid fruit, guys. It's not like liquid fruit, so it's just gonna be random punch juice. But if you want your nice juice, what you can do is that on the check-in luggage, the big luggage, the one that you're not gonna go through custom with it. So what I can advise you to do, guys, is that you can put your juice there and your beverage there. And when you put your beverage there, make sure that you wrap it with clothes and things like that. And you can drink your beverage on the cruise. Like you don't have to pay so much money for those beverages that they sell on the cruise, or maybe for the drinks package. Yes, you can buy the drink packages. It's nice because when you are on the island and you are thirsty, you can just have access to drinks and things like that. But if you love your beverage, you can just put it with your clothes and wrap it with your clothes, and you will drink it in your room, right? And also another thing to note, guys, in your cabin, like your hotel room inside the cruise, there is going to be a fridge, and that fridge, they're not going to lock it, and the fridge is going to have everything from alcohol to wine, to juice, to cold drink, to whatever, to water. And what happens is that don't get there in the cabin and you start drinking the juice or whatever, because when you check out, you're gonna have to pay for everything that you drank from that mini fridge, and it's not worth it, guys. It's not worth it, because you'll find that a can of cold drink, it's like, I don't know, $3. How much is $3? $3 is almost 50 rand. So like it's not really worth it. That's why I'm saying that you can put your beverage or your soft drinks or whatever in your big bag, and then you can drink for things that when you are just chilling in the room at night and you just want something to drink, but you don't want to go to the restaurant or to the bar, you can have your own drinks to drink. And also, next thing, let's talk about the rooms, right? So the packages differ. Like you see the 3.5 that I'm talking about, it can get you a room with a balcony, so a cabin with a balcony, right? Whereas you will find that maybe the people who did not choose the balcony might pay something less. Sometimes they might pay even the similar price. You'll find that maybe because somebody, when they book, it was not a special, they book maybe a sea view. So normally what a sea view room is, it's like a room where you don't have a balcony, you just have a window where you can see the ocean. Like you'll be in the room, and then you see on the window you will see the level of water or something similar to that. So you'll find that maybe when that person booked, there was no special, and the cheapest one was a sea view room for 3.5. But then when you book, it's a special, and you manage to get a balcony cabin for 3.5. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's the funny part about cruises. They are not that different from flights. Like I said, that with flights it depends on when you book, because you'll find that me and you will be on the same flight, same day, same destination, same time, but you'll find that your ticket was more expensive than mine, and mine was cheaper than yours, because maybe the time that I booked the flight was cheaper and the time that you booked the flight was expensive. So that's some of the similarities with the flight and the cruise. And also another thing that I can advise you in terms of the cruise, guys, is just, the thing is, there's so much to talk about. I'm just touching here and there. There's really a lot to talk about. So another thing that I can advise you, or rather that I can tip you about the cruise, is that there is like literally everything on the cruise. Like you won't get bored at all. I'm telling you, even if, because I know on one of my trips on the cruise, we couldn't get off the island. I don't remember what was there. Oh yes, so guys, so something happened, like something funny. Okay, I don't think it's funny. So the last time I went on a cruise, it was like just 2 days before the national lockdown, the national corona lockdown. It was March of 2020. So it was that thing, Ukuti, we've already booked, and then this is sort of like a story time. So we have already booked the cruise, right? And the cruise was due to depart, and then the corona thing started happening, where it was all over the news and things like that. But then because we've already booked, we didn't know if we should cancel or not, right? So I called MSC and I told them that since there's COVID and there's rumors of lockdown coming and things like that, is the cruise still on? And they said the cruise is still on, and if you don't come, you are gonna lose out on your money. You're not gonna get your money back. So it was one of those things where, like, you don't know what to do. Do I lose out on the money, or do I go on the cruise, right? So we decided on going on a cruise, guys, just 2 days before lockdown. And I remember it was as if like lockdown was announced today, and then tomorrow we had to hop on the cruise. And we hopped on the cruise anyway. I remember the cruise that was on, and people who are watching this from South Africa might know what I'm talking about. The cruise that I was on made national headlines, because they were like, hey, there's a cruise ship that left the borders of South Africa after the president announced the lockdown, blah blah blah. And there were rumors of saying that when we come back, we won't be allowed back into the country because the country is on lockdown and no international travel is allowed and things like that. And I remember everybody on that cruise was so scared because nobody wanted to stay on the cruise for the duration of the lockdown, even though it was going to be a nice experience because it will be like you are on a vacation during lockdown. But it was quite scary because they said they were not going to let us in because the country is on lockdown. So during that cruise, I remember when we got to Mozambique, we were not allowed to get off on the island. I think it was also because of that, because of COVID and whatnot. Maybe they were not allowing people into the country. So we literally like spent the whole week on the cruise, and it was so much fun, guys. There's like literally something to do on the cruise. If you are a gambling person, there's something like that to do. If you are love clubbing, there's then like literally 2 or 3 nightclubs depending on which cruise you are on. Like on the cruise itself, you can go clubbing. If you a person who likes theater, there's theater there's like an auditorium on the cruise where you can sit there and you watch plays and things like that. Like there's like, if you like playing games, there's that to do. Like there's like literally something to do for everyone. And if you just want to relax and just sunbathe and just, you know, enjoy the sea breeze and whatnot, there's literally also that to do. So there is like literally so much to do, guys. So before I end this video, because I feel like it's going to be too long and I don't want it to be longer than it is, guys, another tip that I can give you is that the cruise normally leaves at 3 on the day, right? So you are supposed to be on the harbor at least at 12 to go through everything, the customs and whatnot. Because if you are not on the harbor around that time, once it's 3 o'clock, the cruise is leaving. It's not, they're not still boarding people. By 3 o'clock, it's like all doors are closed, it's leaving and whatnot. So what I can advise you to do is that don't decide to, if you are driving to Durban, or if you are taking a bus to Durban, let's say for people who are hopping on the cruise in Durban, if you're going to drive to Durban or take a bus to drive to Durban, don't do that on the day of the cruise, because I promise you, you are going to miss the cruise. Even if you tell yourself that you're gonna, unless maybe you live around Durban or you live around KZN, then that option will work for you. But if you live in Gauteng or PE or wherever, that is going to be a big mistake, because you are going to miss that cruise. So what I can advise you to do is to leave if you're gonna drive the day before, maybe at midnight or something like that. But if you are flying, you can fly on the day, but just make sure that you take the first flight out. So don't take a flight after 9 in the morning. Take any flight before 9 in the morning, so that you get to the airport around 11, or you get to the airport just before 11 or around 11, and then you get on the meter taxi to where the cruise is, right? And also the cruise line itself also offers transport from the airport to the cruise, but that's quite very costly. So what I can advise you to do is that if you are flying to Durban to take the cruise, rather use an Uber or a meter taxi. It is so much affordable and so much cheaper, because I remember when it was 4 of us, we only paid 200, which is like 50 rand per person, right? But the bus that is supplied by MSC itself, it's 150 rand per person. So imagine that's like 600 if you are 4, whereas you can just pay 200 on a meter taxi. So that's something that you should take away with. And also another tip, guys, the travel insurance. That, like, the travel insurance comes in very handy. It is covered on the price that you're gonna pay to book the cruise. Because what happens is that if you get sick on the cruise, there's actually a medical center on the cruise itself. It's like a private clinic with top doctors, like specialists, where you can go there and get treated for whatever, and then afterwards. But what happens is that you're gonna have to pay for it with your credit card or with cash. But then after you come back, you can claim from the travel insurance and you'll get the money back. I'm actually talking about this from experience, because in one of my cruise trips, a family member got really sick on the cruise, and she got admitted on that clinic for like almost 3 days. And I remember the bill was a lot. I think it was almost 12,000 or something like that. But I was able to claim for that money from the travel insurance. And the travel insurance, I think, on the trip, let's say you paid 3.5 for the cruise, the travel insurance is like 300 rand. Imagine, but I was able to claim 12,000 rand for the medical bills and things like that. So that is also something that it's so nice and interesting about booking a cruise, because it's not a loss at all. Or maybe if you miss a flight, but you missed that flight because it was not your fault, you can claim that from the cruise. So let's say, for example, I remember the day that we were supposed to come back, because remember there was because of the cruise left South Africa when it was not supposed to come back to leave, because there was lockdown, right? So when we came back, lucky enough, they didn't decide to quarantine us, but what they did is that each and every person who was what is the opposite of boarding? Hey guys, English is very difficult. So each and every person who was getting off the cruise, right, we had to go through scanners just to check if we are medically fine and we're not bringing COVID back into the country, right? So because of that process, because normally when you come back from the cruise gets to the harbor, get back to the South African shores, right? It gets there around 5 a.m. in the morning. And by the time it's 8 o'clock, all 3,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 passengers are outside the cruise. Everybody has off-boarded. You guys, I don't know what the opposite of boarding is. So everybody's off the cruise, right? But then because of COVID and having to go through all that COVID process of answering questionnaires and checking temperatures and being checked if you are sick or not, we ended up getting off the cruise around 11, 12. And our flight was supposed to be at 1 in the afternoon, right? So by the time we got to the airport in King Shaka back to Joburg, our flight that we were supposed to catch, we missed it. It had left. So we had to buy new tickets. So after buying those new tickets, I remember when I came back, I claimed from the insurance, and my reasoning for claiming from the travel insurance was that it was not my fault, because the ship obviously left South Africa when it was not supposed to, and then when we came back we had to go through these processes of being scanned and whatnot, and we ended up missing our flight. And as you can hear, it was not our fault. So I was able to actually get that flight ticket money back. So I was actually able to claim for that. So those are some of the things that you can claim from the travel insurance on the cruise, guys. So I hope this video was helpful. I left out a lot of things, guys. There's really so much to talk about, but if you have any questions, guys, feel free to ask on the description box. See you in my next video, and I hope you enjoy your next cruise. Ciao.